And I think I'm going to go ahead and let Anthony introduce himself. Um, but let me just start by saying Anthony is running for Congress in our district. He's running against Kevin Mullen. And I told
Are we District 13, Susie? Is that our district number?
15,
15.
right? But I thought I'm going to give Anthony 5 minutes to talk because he actually is fitting into our topic tonight, which is, we've got a lot of Democrats running against incumbent Democrats. And that's really the topic tonight. So, Anthony, I'm going to let you go ahead and tell us about yourself and why
Sure.
you are running against an incumbent.
Sure. I don't know if I'll need the whole 5 minutes or anything, but
Okay.
um, yeah. I mean, I feel like well, just about myself. I am running. I grew up in Foster City. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. And so is my wife. She's also a Marine Corps veteran. I have two boys here. You can probably hear them in a little bit. They'll probably be a little bit loud as I speak, but um. I I don't know. I this life kind of just chose me. I feel like I don't know. I didn't really want to join public service or anything. It wasn't, the path I thought I would have to go down. But the way things are going in the world, I feel like I need to stand up and do something. Um, I mean, it all kind of started when I was a senior in high school and at Aragon High School over here in San Mateo. Um, and my brother at the time, he was 2 years older than me. He joined the Marine Corps in 2001 after 9/11, and he was killed in Iraq in 2004. And then I enlisted that next day. So I have a really strong sense of like something I need to do. Like I had that sense of duty, and I definitely feel that now. 2 years later, after that point, I deployed to Iraq as well, and I survived two IED blasts. I was shot in the back, and I lost close friends. Came home, disabled and kind of mentally broken, cast aside by society. But I rebuilt myself. I went to community college, and then went to UCSD, and then went to Harvard. I, you know, got my, degrees in government, political science, and public administration. Um, Later after that, I helped create some veteran-based nonprofits to help transitioning veterans coming back into civilian society. Um, and then I was later mentored into, join the Pentagon to try and help fix systemic problems in the Pentagon. And you know, some time there, I was overseeing a lot of the defense budgets and things like that. And I really got a feel for how things worked in the federal level when it came to, um, you know, defense spending and how it works with contractors and things like that. And I ended up being a whistleblower on defense contractors and how they operated and kind of developing obsolete tech for billions of dollars of taxpayers' money and just kind of blowing it all. So uh, really, what I'm trying to stand for here is, you know, trying to look up for the little guys here. I feel like we've gone really far down this road of just protecting the elites and the upper class of people and forgetting about the working class people, forget about, what's really important, what really makes America great. And on top of that, we you asked why are Democrats running against other Democrats. I think we deserve better. I think we've got so accustomed to just picking the Democrat that has like the nicest voice or speaks a way that we like to speak. But the thing is that the policies that they push aren't the ones that really benefit everybody. They aren't the ones that are best for us, and I think we can always do better. Um, I think the policies that are being pushed by Kevin Mullen, I'm just really disappointed in the things that he's been pushing. He supports uh, Israel through his defense spending, and he also voted to censure Rashida Tlaib. I just I don't think that that's really the path we want to go down. And I think in this district specifically, with a really highly educated population, and people who are progressive, I think we can do a lot better than that. And I did wait, me personally, I waited to the last minute I was hoping somebody would run against them that was like very qualified, and then I didn't see it. So I was like, oh, okay, all right, well, I guess I'll do it. And begrudgingly, I did it. And it was a really hard decision because it it makes things unstable for me and my family, but it's the right thing to do. And I think, if not me, then who? So, um, uh, you know, I'm trying to do, what I can. I try and serve my country in more ways than one. Um, and yeah, you can look up more about me on my website. I'll link it in the chat if that's easier for you guys.
Great.
But yeah, that's what I got.
Okay. And Diana, I see your hand raised.
So, Anthony, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you're still here. Okay.
Yeah,
So first, thank you for your service in the Marines and
thanks.
at the Pentagon. Your service is really valued and appreciated. Um, I I was just wondering if you have a specific platform that you are focused on if you're successful in this election.
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple things I want to tackle. Number one is like government accountability. I feel like we've kind of forgotten what it's like to keep those accountable who really need to be held accountable. We're not fighting. I feel like the word fight has really been used real loosey goosey, and I don't want to like attack Kevin Mullen, but it's because it's across the board. A lot of people when they say like, "Oh, I'm fighting for this, I'm fighting for that," they're literally just showing up and voting. That's quite literally the bare minimum of the job. They're not really fighting. They're just showing up and voting. And so, what I really want to show is that we can really push the envelope, really get into people's faces who really need to be, told that what they're doing is wrong. And I think people really need to stand up to what's going on. People are literally dying right now. People are starving right now, and we're not doing enough. So, um, so I want to really um, change paradigms, I guess. That's what I want to do. I want to change how people see politicians as just someone that just doesn't do anything, that just shows up to vote and gives press conferences, speeches. I don't want to do it that way. I'm more of a person of action.
Well, and that's one of the things we see lacking in Kevin.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're very, we all know Kevin very well. So you're saying a lot of things we like here.
Yeah.
Elsa, you've got your hand up.
I do. I just want to show me too. I'm about to be really on camera. Susie, that was exactly what I was going to say. And I wondered whether I was allowed to say that out loud even. But everything about your background, Anthony, the way you speak, and by the way, you have a gorgeous voice, so you could be accused of a good voice.
I've never heard someone say
Um,
that before.
oh, I'm a singer. I understand everything. Um, you do have a very interested audience here, so we'd love to have you stay close with us. We'd love to have you come to our meetings and see what we're about, who we are too, and we do go back a long way with Kevin. He was our hero in the assembly. He has taken some stands we are uncomfortable with. And we is so broad because that doesn't mean every single person on this screen or in the membership, no question. We are very grateful you are brave enough to take this step because we also think it helps not to have someone just be comfortable, like the seat is mine,
Right.
in that, and to really make sure that they're listening to their constituents. He's in a different role now from the role we grew up with him being in, and more power to you. Every single thing you said rings true to most in this group. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it. And, I also feel that, and maybe you guys are already used to it, that a lot of things, just in general, with elected officials, everything just seems so kind of whitewashed and cleaned up. I feel like we're missing a lot of genuine conversation with people. And I think that that's something I really want to change. I want to be able to talk to constituents and talk to people because there's the people that matter. I don't think that we should be taking money from corporations and just pushing their agendas. We should be just trying to help the people that we're supposed to represent. It's literally in the name, representative, you know? So at least that's my take on it.
Nancy, you got to get your hand up. Oh, you're muted.
Okay, thanks. I'm just going to expand a little bit on what Elsa's already said and just ask you, if you've run for office before, do you have a team picked, and how can we watch for what you're doing here in this campaign?
Yeah, I've never ran before. This is my first time, but I do have some really good mentors helping me out. The previous campaign director for Rashida Tlaib is actually he's actually out of San Francisco, and he's also a Marine as well. And so you reached out to me, and I've connected with him, and he's helped me along the way. So a lot of this is super new to me, um, and he's kind of just giving me best practices and guidance. He, uh, I do know that I need to, make social media and do these things I've never done. Like, I'm very not a social media guy, so especially because it's just, I don't know. A few years ago, it just got really weird with bots and stuff, so I kind of just dropped it all. But now I need to pick it back up and let people know like where I'm gonna be, what get the word out there. So um, I will um, I will be. I think the best way right now is just through my website. I'm gonna be posting more regularly in there. I think they have like a news tab on there. Um, but I will also be opening up some social media accounts. I'm reaching out to as many people as I can. I see Mike is in here too. I have a meeting with him on Friday, I believe. Yeah. So I'll be meeting with you soon, and yeah, just doing what I can, getting best practices, just hearing from you guys. How do you guys want me to get the word out?
Great. Okay, Gail, you're muted.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you for running and being in opposition. I think the Democrats need a good shaking up, and possibly many of them need to be replaced,
Yeah.
since over the last few decades they have presided over a growing gap between the haves and the have-nots, which is
Yeah.
statistically unarguable. It's quite obvious that this is what's happening. Although I think a lot of people who voted for Trump know there's something wrong, but don't quite know what it was. But I think the Democrats bear considerable responsibility for the fact that we're stuck with Trump.
Yeah. And that's also one thing I've been saying to my friends, at least, is just like, why do we think that a lot of the people who got us into this mess are the same ones that are going to get us out. You know, a lot of people just like the do nothing people that just stood by and let it happen. They wanted to like champion decorum and have faith in our institutions. But the thing is, our institutions have failed us. And so we need to do more. We need to do better.
Thank you. Thank you. Mike?
Yeah. Hello, Anthony.
Hey.
And yeah, I mean we're not here actually to run down Kevin, and I know he's done a good job domestically, but we have the same issue with like Tom Lantos and the same issue somewhat with
Yeah.
Jackie Spear. They're basically their bailiwick was domestic policies, and they're all three of them were quite good on that. But the fact remains, the big challenges we have right now are foreign policy disasters. I mean,
Yep.
Biden's war, that's a true statement. The Ukraine mess is Biden's war.
Mhm.
And yeah, I won't go into it and spend much time on it, but the fact remains lousy foreign policy, and yet he did well domestically. So, yeah, we're not here to run anybody down, but the fact remains
Yeah.
it's a matter of qualifications, concentration, and what has to be done, exactly like you say. I think what you've been doing in the like troubleshooting for the defense contractors, I mean, that's gold. I mean, that's unfortunately you had a maniac, running loose on the government, and they didn't
Yeah.
turn him loose in the defense. Elon with his goddamn sawdust thing, his chainsaw,
Yeah.
he was running in the wrong direction. Not that he had any direction of any intelligence really anyway. I mean, let him I'll buy his car, but shut the hell up otherwise. But
Yeah.
yeah, thank you. And again, go to your website. I thought your website is quite professional. I mean, I figured you had a staff and you were doing
Nah,
things. I mean, I
it's
was
just me.
impressed with. Okay, you're a guy. You're
Well,
a
you know
guy then.
what? Invest in some teenagers because there are youth groups out there that might be really happy to help with some of the social media stuff because the kids get it and that's where they're looking.
That's a good
Okay.
point. Yeah, I do. I know one of the things I do need to reach out to the community colleges. I want to kind of
Yes.
leverage that because I feel like I'm really aligned because I started in community college, and I feel like I can at least give hope that there is a way that you can, get further. A lot of people I feel when they're in community college, at least when I was there was just like this weird aura that the things are just always going to be hard. But
Mm.
there's there's definitely because I was able to at least work my way up and ended up just finishing at Harvard when I finished my master's, and like for me it was probably a like kind of an exception, but it's possible, and I feel like I can reach out to those people and let them know that there's a lot at the end of the tunnel, and you keep working at it, and you study real damn hard, and we'll connect with the right people. It can happen as well. But then again, going to Harvard brought me to the Pentagon, where I ended up having a whistleblow, and then that kind of brought me all the way down.
I just want to add one thing. I'm with Vets for Peace, Chapter 69, Bay Area, and
Yeah.
I want you to connect with them because they've been advocating for the Veterans Administration. They've been looking to chainsaw that. I mean, there's
Yeah.
a lot going on, and that's domestic, particularly something that could be done as well. So that's
Oh,
another connection I want to try and make for you.
definitely. I'm like I use the VA. I've used the VA ever since I got out, and it's a huge part of my life is dealing with the VA, and I know the gripes and the things that are difficult. I know that navigating that, especially getting out, was really difficult. The quality of staff, like no hate against them, the people that are there, they're actually a lot of times very qualified. My last primary care doctor was a Stanford professor, and he was super brilliant. He helped me with a lot of my problems, but they've been critically understaffed. They've just been slashing people like crazy, and with the new rules, they've a lot also been um, not necessarily downsizing, but they don't hire new talent when people retire. So the people that are there right now are, man, they're very overworked. Then that has a trickle down effect because the people that are there that need the help, they ask for certain things, and the doctors don't have time to read through their whole profile and figure everything out. So you're kind of getting substandard care. That's really not because they're bad doctors, but it's more because they don't have the time to look into every single thing. They're just overworked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll connect you with some people that work in the VA and recently retired from the VA
Yeah.
hospital, nurses. We'll take care of that. It's a good
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah,
Good issue.
definitely. Thank you.
I want to go to Bill, and Elsa, can I go to Bill last and then we'll switch over to our program?
So, Anthony, everything you've said really resonates with me tonight, and I want to do whatever I can to try to help you. Is your website just Anthony Dang for Congress, or
It's just dang for
how do
Congress.
you find it? Dang for Congress?
Yeah, I put the link in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And could you maybe like put your email in the
Yeah,
chat
I'll
so
do
I
it right
could
now.
send you a message? I've got some contacts up at Kenyatta College that might be able to help you.
Yeah,
And
that would be
also, I'm part of the Veterans Memorial Senior Center in Redwood City, and we have at least 4 groups that I can think of off the top of my head that are vet groups that meet there monthly,
Mhm.
and it's right around this time of the month right now. So I think if you could plug in to some of their meetings, attend some of their meetings, that would be another entree for you.
Yeah,
And certainly, I think part of your platform could also be how this country is really neglecting our veterans now,
yeah,
and all the problems that go with that. I don't know what, if anything, Kevin Mullen is doing for veterans But you certainly have the qualities and the qualifications to do a great job
Yeah.
around that issue, and you should certainly make that part of your platform.
Yeah.
So I will follow up and check out your website, and I'll send you an email as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. That'd be great. Yeah. Just a
And
just side note that if I were to go to Congress, I would be the very first Gold Star family member in Congress. So Gold Star family is someone who's has a family member that was killed in action. So I think I could definitely be a big advocate for people that really understand that side of war. And at a time, especially now, there's so many people that are really brave with other people's bodies. Saying all gung ho about war, but they don't understand what the real cost is. And I've been on both sides. As a war fighter, and as someone who was, had those people come to the door and tell them that I'm sorry that your son has been killed in action. So um, I
um,
definitely understand it. Yeah.
and Elsa, I see your note. How can we get Anthony some time at the Central Committee? And Anthony, I think I sent you their website, the San Mateo County Democrats.
Yes. Right.
Um, and I would definitely at least attend a meeting. Don't they usually have, like, like we're
It's
getting,
the third Thursday of every month.
yeah.
It starts at 7. There's a speaker, 7:30, but at the very end, which is usually just before 9 o'clock, they have a lightning round of announcements, and it's either 1 or 2 minutes. I think maybe it's one. But I
Yeah.
was asking Ashley and Diana, who are very active members, whether they could think of any way that he could get more than a minute.
I'd be scared to go for more than a minute.
You're
Yeah,
doing
well,
great. You
yeah,
you
yeah,
you're
You did
you're a
great.
great.
they don't
You,
tend to have a Q&A like this after. You're over your minute here.
Well, I don't know. I mean, clearly, the state Democratic Party has endorsed Kevin. And so the Central Committee is not permitted to endorse
Oh,
at the,
I don't mean endorsing. I actually mean
I know,
getting
but I mean,
okay.
in terms of getting him more time.
Yeah.
No, but certainly he could be introduced and have his minute at the end of a meeting.
And do you think I and or others here could also take a minute and say, gee, I met this interesting fellow, Anthony Dang, and his points are blum blum and blum. Oh, Anthony, you're here. And his hand is raised also for his minute. Is that a
Well,
terrible thing to do?
anybody can say what they want during you know, so Elsa, you could do that.
That's what I'm
For
thinking.
example.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad that you came, Anthony, and keep us posted and we'll be watching for you.
Yeah.
Well, and,
Thank
and
you.
I just wanted to say also, Anthony, I do encourage you to come to our DCC meeting and take advantage of the last minute. We have a lot of young Dems and working family party
Yeah.
members
Mhm.
who would be very happy to meet you.
Yeah. That sounds awesome. I definitely will be there.
Yeah,
Thank
Oh,
you.
so
and
no, I wouldn't say anything about Kevin, I think
Oh,
that's
no.
not
yeah,
a smart thing to do,
All right.
but I think that it would be just letting them know that you wanted to take this advantage, this opportunity to have people meet you and,
Yeah.
just be gracious that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I just want
Okay.
people to know I exist.
Right.
do you know people at the Working Families Party, Anthony?
I
If
reached out
not,
to somebody recently. I don't know them
okay, great.
personally, but
Was it
I
James?
feel like we're super aligned.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Thank
Great. Well, thank you. I'm glad to meet you and
Yeah.
on Zoom, and hope to keep hearing more. And let's
Yeah.
like to see a good primary race going.
Great. Thank you so
Great.
much. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
I'll stay on too, just to
Okay.
hear you guys
Yeah,
out.
please.
So,
Please
but I'll
do.
go off
please.
camera because my kids are
Well,
over here.
and this is it's a great intro to our topic tonight, talking about these other Dems that are running for Congress and against incumbents.
Mhm.
Um, and I know it, so we've got the five, uh, and do you want me to show it? Let's see. Diana, can I share?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, I can't. You'd have, I need to have you turn it on.
I know. I'm looking
Oh,
for you.
sorry.
Your thing keeps moving as I'm looking for you.
Yeah, what I was going to do is just put up the list of the 5 candidates we're talking about tonight. And Ashley, I know you said you needed to head out, so I was going to actually have you go ahead and start.
Okay, okay.
And
Interesting, subject, running against incumbents. I remember our first year as a club, one of our members was a young guy just out of law school named Ro Khanna, who was running as the peace candidate against Tom Lantos, of all people. Tom Lantos was a fabulous progressive, but his weak spot was war.
Some of us didn't consider him a progressive, excuse me.
Yeah, and look now, Roe's going to be running for president, I'm sure. So
I hope. I'm voting for him.
it took a while, but he's gotten up there. Okay, so for my assignment, I am talking about a really interesting race in Michigan's 13th district, which includes most of Detroit and some of the surrounding suburbs. And in that race, and their primary is August 4th. So the challenger is a young guy, 33-year-old guy, who's currently a Michigan representative. His name is Donovan McKinney. So he's presently in the House of Representatives. He's born and raised in Detroit, raised by his grandmother and great grandmother, and moved constantly because of evictions, and so came up from poverty. And he graduated in public service from University of Michigan. After that, he was a legislative director in the Michigan legislature, and then he was an organizer for health care, and was in the Michigan SEIU. In 2020, he was appointed by Governor Gretchen Whitmer to the Environmental Justice Council, where he helped develop the pandemic plan to restore sewage service and water to Detroit residents. He was elected to the Michigan House of Representatives. He's been there, he's made a name for himself. He's critical of Michigan utility companies and of corporate influence in politics. He's worked on healthcare legislation. He joined in sending a letter to President Biden to advance, quote, a lasting ceasefire in Gaza, unquote. Loki did good things for the local people, helping to bring 10 million in community violence intervention programs, and won $600,000 in federal funds to replace lead pipes in Detroit and surrounding suburbs. So he is endorsed by Bernie Sanders, by Rashida Tlaib, by Justice Dems, which is very interesting because Justice Dems is dedicated to finding and electing challengers to incumbent Democrats who are not progressive. And they select very few people to support so that they can give them a lot of support. He's also endorsed by the Working Family Party, SEIU, and more than a dozen state legislators, and also by a lot of Detroit Black leaders who want to see someone like him, working class Black candidate as a representative from their district. So the current incumbent is a very interesting gentleman. His name is Sri Thanedar, Thanedar. He's been the incumbent since 2020, after he had one term in the Michigan House of Representatives. He was born in India, went to Indian schools, but got his PhD at the University of Akron. He's a multimillionaire. He's had many successful businesses, usually in chemical analysis. He had, oh, this is the one that really got me. He had this one bankruptcy, this company that closed, and they were a pharmacy lab company and that used animals for medical experiments. And when it closed, they just closed it down in one day and deserted, left all the laboratory animals there, just locked up the place and walked away. And these lab animals included 170 dogs. And this is my part. 117 of them were beagles. So that caught my attention. And then there were about 50 monkeys that were left behind too. The neighbors climbed the fences and brought food and water to these animals until they could be rescued by animal rights groups. So other of his companies have been very successful, though. And so he first ran for governor against Gretchen Whitmer in 2018. He professes to be a progressive, and he introduced articles of impeachment against Trump, which everybody, included the Democrats in Michigan, got him to shut down because they felt it was just a publicity stunt. He currently has articles of impeachment out against Pete Hegseth, again, getting lots of publicity for that. He's a self-funded candidate. One race he put 10 million of his own money in, another one 9 million. He is mostly supported by pro-Israel lobby groups and by the cryptocurrency lobby. He had started out being very much against Israel, but at some point he went on an AIPAC junket, one of those trips to Israel, and he came back very pro-Israel. So they will be putting in lots of money to smear Donovan McKinney. And let's see what else he has done. I looked at his endorsements. Oh, here are some things. He's very self-promoting. In 2023, 29% of his office budget went to promoting ads. The congressional average is 5%. Using 5% for self-promoting ads. He did 29%. he's been accused of having a toxic work environment and a lot of this self-serving publicity. Here are his endorsements. Number one, Ami Bera.
Ooh,
Oh,
ooh.
Number two, Ro Khanna. Now they both have Indian backgrounds, so I figure that's what that is about, you know? But
We-
boy, I was surprised at that. Ted Lieu, the Congressional Progressive Caucus is supporting him. I don't know what that's about. I meant to look it up. I'll bet he's a member of it because he does profess to be a progressive. And he also is endorsed by the Michigan AFL-CIO. So there is that race, which I think is a fascinating one. And as I said, the Beagles won me over. I will be contributing. Does anyone have any questions?
I have,
Any comments?
Elsa?
can you hear me?
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Well, you
good.
looked like you got stuck for a second.
Yeah, I still am. I have this tiny screen and I only see a little and I don't have any of the buttons, so I don't know why. Thank you. Boy, Ashley, thank you so much. Ami Bera, as we all know, has gone seriously conservative. Ro Khanna and the Progressive Caucus have got to have endorsed him way before they knew about Donovan. So we could always help let them know about that, but that's amazing. Either
Yeah.
that or they're really terrified of the Republican competitor or something. But that's an outrageous comparison. Thank you, Ashley. What a find.
Yeah.
Any other comments?
Well, they can always co-endorse if they don't want to, if they're too embarrassed to take back their endorsement. They can say, well, look at both or whatever, right? There's got to be a, they can slip and slide through that.
Oh, they can undo it in my book
All
on
right.
that one.
Bill, I see your hand up.
What's his Ashley, what's his position on healthcare, Medicare for all, things of that sort?
Well, he got one bill through the state legislature. It was on healthcare, but it was a specific one about qualifying certain people to be handle medication at assisted living places. But he is very interested in healthcare legislation. So I did not see anywhere Medicare for all, but I know that healthcare is one of his issues.
Did he have any position on voting rights and the threats to people
I
like under
didn't,
the
I
SAVE
did,
Act?
I didn't see it. You
Okay.
know, that it looks to me like when he was involved, as a state legislature, that is what he concentrated on. So I don't think he has a much of a record so far on.
Has he come out at all about immigration and the performance of ICE and things like that?
I didn't see that in his literature
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
Mhm.
But I see him, endorsed by Bernie Sanders and
Yeah.
by Rashida Tlaib.
Oh no, I'm
And
not talking about him. I'm talking about the other guy, the guy who's in office right now.
oh, the guy who's in office right now.
Yeah.
Uh, no, I didn't see any of that. He he wanted to he says he wants to abolish ICE.
Oh, really? Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
What Democrat doesn't, though?
Oh, there's a few.
Well,
Yeah, yeah,
at least
yeah.
verbalize it, whether they're actually doing anything. That's
Right.
a different question.
Of
Thank
course.
you.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our next candidate. Actually, I was going to say, Greg, do you want to go next with New York?
Yeah, I can go.
All right. Go
Okay,
ahead. Go ahead, Greg.
but I'm not on the screen.
Well, what I have on the screen is just the list of the names
Okay,
so that everybody can see who's the candidate you're looking at and the incumbent.
okay. I was looking at Brad Lander versus Dan Goldman in New York District 10. And I have not done as good a job as uh, Ashley did, although I have some more questions out, but I haven't gotten all the answers tonight. So what I'm going to say is a summary. Dan Goldman was considered the golden boy for a while in the Democratic Party, and he is certainly a very good attorney, and he was very active starting in 2018, I think, in the House, and he was very involved in the first impeachment against Trump. And so he gained a lot of respect for the work he did there. He is considered a moderate Democrat. He's not a very progressive one. Um, and that's what's allowed his opponent, Brad Landers, to come up with some positions which are way to the left of him. And Brad Lander is a councilman and in New York District 10, and he is he has taken some strong positions against ICE. I think he was able recently to get somebody out of jail, although I'm not completely sure what he did, but he certainly would qualify as a progressive in terms of opposing ICE. And he is accusing his opponent of being much too conservative, of having made concessions to business, and so on. And there has not been too much recognition about Goldman's actions against Trump. So I would say that if I had to make up my mind, if I had to vote in New York District 10, I would probably vote for Lander. Although I don't think Goldman is all bad. As I say, he was considered the golden boy in that district for a while. And the the position that Lander held was a councilman in his district, and he did a good job there. And as I say, he is very outspoken against his opponent, and he considers himself way to the left and probably more in tune with what DFA stands for than Goldman. So that's my summary for now. As I say, I don't have all the information that actually provided, but that's my conclusion as of now. I have written to some people who may be in District 10 in New York, who may know more about the respective position of these two people, but they haven't answered yet. I think they're working on it, but I can't give you all the details tonight. And so I'm going to have to stop here.
Anybody got any questions?
Well, sorry, I still can't. Oh, I think I can.
You're
Does
okay.
anyone else? Okay, I was going to, now I just found it. Susie, by the way, now I got to your screen that has the 5 names listed. And I think Greg might have a point that once we've seen it for a minute or something, then you could make that go away
Sure.
and look at the presenter or whoever we have up at the time, but then bring it back, of course. Yes, and so in New York, I mean, that he sounds like a guy who is for all the right things, sorry, in my humble opinion. But I do feel as though if we know endorsements, that too is going to be a big deal. And I'm sorry, I really apologize, but my comments were really going to be on the Detroit candidate. And I was just going to say he's got to be endorsed also by Abdul, who's running for Senate there. And they have to have worked in the same public health department together. So it'd be interesting to see that relationship too. But if Bernie's supporting them both. Greg,
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
Bernie, and by the way, I didn't say that, but Bernie is supporting Lander.
Lander. Yeah. As is Mayor Mamdani.
Yeah,
Greg, do you know how long Goldman's been in office in Congress? How many terms?
I think at least three.
So maybe 4 years.
Uh, yeah, before
Okay.
I'm not sure whether he started in 2016 or 2017 or not, but it's
Okay.
two, probably three. And as I say, he had a very good reputation and still has a good reputation, but he's considered, there's no question that he's considered a moderate. He's not a very progressive candidate. So the choice is going to be between those two qualities.
Okay.
Susie, do you mind if I go next? My phone is about to die and I have a couple of notes there.
Okay. Yeah, go right ahead.
So this is Diana Reddy, and my person was Cori Bush, who's running against incumbent Wesley Bell. And many of you will remember the name Cori Bush. She served 2 terms in Missouri, and she's a member of the squad. And she was beaten in 2024 by Wesley Bell, who is currently the incumbent. He's a former friend. He's a Black man, former friend who took almost $9 million from AIPAC in order to take her seat, and at one point thanked Homeland Security for protecting cities. So Bush, on the other hand, does not accept PAC money of any kind, including from AIPAC, and she feels that that's going to make a difference with her constituents this year. So Corey once was an unhoused single mother of two and a survivor of gun violence, domestic violence, and sexual assault. Buse became a nurse and a pastor, and in the wake of the killing of the unarmed Black man, Michael Brown, in Ferguson in 2014, she became the activist that many of us have known her to be. And she was on the front lines of the movement to save Black lives. After protesting in the streets for 400 days, she jumped into the political arena. In 2020, made a successful run for Congress, becoming the first Black representative from Missouri. In Bush's 2 terms in Congress, she demonstrated leadership on many fronts, including reproductive justice and abortion rights. At a House of Representative committee hearing in 2021, Bush was one of 3 congressional women to share their abortion story publicly. And after the Dobbs decision that overturned Roe v. Wade, she introduced a host of bills, including the Reproductive Health Care Accessibility Act, the Protecting Access to Medication Abortion Act, the Reproductive Health Travel Fund Act, and the Protect Sexual and Reproductive Health Act. She also championed housing rights when the COVID moratorium on evictions was about to expire. She grabbed her sleeping bag and a lawn chair and organized a sleep-in on the steps of the U.S. Capitol that resulted in an extension of the moratorium on evictions. Foreign policy was not her focus, but in the wake of the Hamas attack on October 9th and Israel's subsequent bombing of civilians in Gaza, Bush felt compelled to speak out. Just 9 days after the October 7th Hamas attack, she had the courage to introduce a ceasefire resolution in the House. She was one of only 9 House members who opposed a resolution supporting Israel, and she boycotted Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's speech before Congress, calling him a war criminal. As a result of defending Palestinians, she found herself in AIPAC's crosshairs. Cori Bush has been one of the most hostile critics of Israel since she came to Congress in 2021 and has actively worked to undermine mainstream Democratic support for the U.S.-Israel relationship, AIPAC claimed. AIPAC Super PAC spent nearly $9 million, much of it coming from Republican mega donors, to buy ads smearing Bush and shoring up contender Wesley Bell, a St. Louis County prosecutor. The attacks were vicious, including ads that darkened Bush's skin and manipulated her racial features. They also distorted her domestic voting record, condemning her for not supporting Biden's infrastructure bill instead of explaining that her vote was part of a strategy to gain leverage for key social programs in the Build Back Better Act. So that's my report. There is another person, Alicia Murphy, who's another candidate running, but the two main candidates are Bell and Bush. And Cori Bush, sorry, is she's endorsed by the National Nurses Union, the Pro-Joe style, what is that? Progressive Jews of St. Louis. I think that's interesting. The STL, DSA, the Citizens Against AIPAC Corruption, Justice Democrats, and other progressive groups. And as I said, she's a former member of the squad.
What is her profession?
Are there any questions?
She is a nurse and a pastor.
And a pastor, that's correct.
Okay. Any other question?
Well, I would just add one thing because I also kind of looked into her. Of the, I guess, four that I'm glancing at right now. The one I actually looked at her opponent, Wesley Bell, but what she's got written for her platform is the best written I've seen of the ones I've looked at, because it actually talks about what she will do instead of the, how she's going to do it and the things she'll actually do instead of the platitudes and
she actually has a reputation for what she already did, which I liked. Yeah, I agree.
So her opponent, Wesley Bell, he was first elected in 2025, and as we already know, he served as the prosecuting attorney for St. Louis County from 2019 to 2025. We already know he was deeply funded by AIPAC and the American Israeli Public Affairs Committee. He's been sued by local nonprofits for his role in a cash bail system, and also managed a very conservative Republican campaign in their district. So he's actually worked for some of the Republicans, oddly. There are several allegations and lawsuits of wrongdoing and sketchy actions that were happening while he was serving as prosecutor. And he has no endorsements listed at all, none whatsoever.
And he refers to himself as a pragmatist.
Yeah, right. And again, his the way his platform is written, he is just high level. Do healthcare, do more to strengthen and expand healthcare coverage, lower costs, expand access to insurance, make it easier to hire the best doctors and nurses. Well, that all sounds good, but how? Foreign policy, work with allies, democracies under attack, especially Ukraine. Israel has the right to defend itself and go after those who perpetrate attacks. In Congress, I will fight to make sure the United States remains Israel's strongest ally. It's his position. So, yeah, I don't think he's a very strong candidate personally.
Doesn't sound very progressive, so that.
Not at all. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions on Cori Bush? Okay. All right. The next we can either go to Jasmine Clark, or I can do Mai Vang. And I'm not sure who's looking at Jasmine Clark.
I did some.
Okay, go ahead,
And
Joanne.
I did a little.
And
I,
I'm
Very
gonna
little.
share back so
I
we've
didn't
got those
find out
names.
about it until last night after a teachers meeting.
Yeah, thank you.
So, what she is running for Georgia 13. She's running for she for a new post. She's been in the House of Representatives in Georgia since 2019, and she is basically a scientist. Her background is that she's born in Atlanta, Georgia, and she has received her bachelor's degree in biological science and master's degree in microbiology and molecular genetics. So she has also been a professor at Emory College, and she works as a scientist, has served as the director of March of Science and other science organizations. So who she's running against, just to start, is an 80-year-old man who evidently has not voted in an election for the last 7 elections, didn't vote in the Trump election, and he was removed from his committee leadership positions because his fellow people thought he couldn't do his job anymore. And he's missed most of the votes in Congress so far due to health issues. So as she puts it, she's grateful for his service, but feels that he is no longer serving the way that her constituents deserve. So she's running for that. So she's been defending reproductive choice, public health, obviously, and she's was very upset when Trump voted, had his order where he got rid of nursing degrees. So she's been trying to get legislation passed to fund the programs that he's no longer funded, for nursing programs for advanced degrees. And her primary is May 19th, so that's coming up really soon. So what she has done as a state person is she has been on committees for the more fiscal things, banking, and on the banking committee, the fiscal affair and budget committees. She's been on interstate cooperation committee, the health and higher education committees. So basically, what she's interested in, and she's had passed bills in those areas while she's been in Congress, in her state Congress. So the other thing, the only other things, I didn't have time to do much on who endorses her or anything, but is what I get in tests asking for money, where she's talking about the things she's done in that, and since she's been in Congress, and that she's really wants to work on science and thinks there has to be a voice for science. So she really wants to protect health care for her constituents. So there wasn't anything on where I could find. It's got home from work at that basically at 6:15. So I'm trying to do my best, but
Thanks. Nancy, did you also do a little look?
Yeah, well, I looked at her a little bit too, but Elsa did too. So Elsa, if you want to go next.
Sure. Well, just briefly, and mine was very few minutes ago. She's definitely the number one other candidate, but there are other candidates running also. But her record is so much stronger than there are 3 other Dems, I think, that are also running, and they're nowhere politically and money wise and all that. And so she sounds as though she's almost being gentle with this older fellow. and
He's,
to get rid of him.
he probably knows.
Yeah, why? I mean, he probably should resign. So in the latest poll, though, which was March 26, yesterday, in other words, Scott had 31% and she had 30%. So given that they think he's got it, still has a good chance is questionable to me. And also the three lower level people, well, they're only 13% undecided. The three other people have 10%, 8%, and 6%. So assuming maybe some of those votes would leave those candidates and go for someone else, since they're already going for a different candidate than the incumbent, it should be, I mean, I'm hoping it should be Clark's. And she sounds like a great voice because she has such a well-rounded background, being a microbiologist, and yet in all those interesting financial and inner city roles in the state legislature. It sounds really good. And it's a very democratic, even though it's Georgia, it's a very democratically based district. So whoever wins the primary will tend to win. That's what I have.
So the only thing I would add is that she's actually not in the U.S. House. She's serving in the Georgia House.
Yeah.
Right. So
the assembly.
her endorsements are from Alexander Vindman, Mary Trump, a big list of 17 Democratic state representatives from Georgia, Indivisible, Higher Heights for America, Mother Funders PAC, Vote Mama Foundation, Elect Black Women PAC, East Metro for Social Justice, Necessary Trouble, and the Georgia Federation of Public Service Employees. Now, the other thing I saw about her opponent was that in 2007, the political watchdog group Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington named Mr. Scott one of the 25 most corrupt members of Congress.
Oh.
He's the 18th most bipartisan member of the U.S. House, and he tried to ban same-sex marriage. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the only question is, does she need money?
Yeah, right.
Anybody got any questions?
What does she do right now? She's a professor at Emory.
She's in the House.
She's in the Georgia House of Representatives.
Oh, okay. She's not a professor anymore.
Oh well, she lists herself. No, she lists herself as a senior lecturer at a school of nursing.
Uh-huh.
That's all it said. So yeah.
But is she black?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So are most of the people running for that office, like 4 black men and 1 black woman.
Yeah.
So they're all.
And
So
the guy is black too?
Is Scott? I don't.
Yeah. David Scott is black.
Yes.
34% of the population of Georgia is also black.
Which part of Georgia is that district? Is it Atlanta or somewhere else?
Atlanta.
Yeah,
She was born.
be.
Yeah, it's got to be one of the parts of Atlanta.
Oh, if she was connected with Emory, I think that's Atlanta.
Yeah,
They,
it is.
they also said that when she won her election, that the Republicans had redistricted her area 3 times to stop her from winning, and she still won. So
Wow.
they kept trying to boot her out and boot her out.
That's in the state legislature, right?
State legislature, yeah.
So she's been there for a while.
Yeah, 2019.
That's good. That she has a track record.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else on these candidates? Okay. I'm going to go to our last one, which is this top guy. We're going to do, this is Mai Vang is running against incumbent Doris Matsui. And this is CA7, which got changed with Prop 50. But this is a Sacramento area district. And this is another generational race. Doris Matsui is 81. Mai Vang is 41. So we've definitely got a generational change here. But she's running against a congresswoman who has won every one of her, she came to Congress replacing her husband in 2005. Her husband, Robert Matsui, died in office. Um, and this is, she has won each of her contests since then by 60, 70, and 80%.
Wow.
So this is going to be, Matsui is very well liked in her district, but her district has changed. So she's been in, it was originally District 6, then it became District, oh,
Seven.
maybe it was 7, 8, 9. Anyway, this area has changed 3 times over Matsui's time in Congress. But let me tell you a little bit about Mai Vang. What's interesting is these are 2 Asian women, Asian American women. Doris Matsui has a story that is hard to forget. She was born in an internment camp. She was Japanese American and was born while her parents were interned. Mai Vang is a firstborn American with Hmong. Her parents were Hmong refugees. So we've got the stories are there for both of them. Mai Vang she's a teacher, Sacramento State and UC Davis. She's also been on the Sacramento City School Board, and she is currently on the Sacramento City Council, where I would say she is a very progressive left in a very moderate conservative city council. The city council members have endorsed her opponent, Doris Matsui. And so that already to me gives me a whole lot of information about her. And by the way, here is a really good example of 2 websites, 2 candidate websites. Doris Matsui's has almost nothing on it, and Mai Vang has a really full website where she lists under her platform, under the economy and healthcare, housing, childcare and education, immigration, foreign policy, flood control, infrastructure. Where Matsui has flood control and infrastructure, these are things where she has brought funds into her district. However, when you look, for example, at flood control, Mai Vang notes that this West Sacramento project is still incomplete, and it really needs emergency response from the government because you guys have all heard the stories of the levees around Sacramento are beginning to fail. And yet that's one of the big points of Doris Matsui's website is, well, I've done this, brought this money for that, but she doesn't talk about a whole lot else. Mai Vang is a Medicare for All supporter. She also wants to see full reproductive care covered, and important is supporting the funding of rural clinics. And Matsui, on the other side, while she is a pro-choice, she supports abortion funding, she also talks about things like, well, helping pass the Affordable Care Act, lowering prescription costs, things that are less at the top of our agendas than things that are 10 years past.
Incrementalism.
Well, but these are not the current issues of the community. These are the issues from 10 and 20 years ago. So again, it's the generational, if she's not really keeping up with what do the people in her district need. And that is one of the things Mai Vang is really kind of talking about is how she wants to come in to do these things. One of the things that in looking at funding, There's no MyVang doesn't take any PAC funding, and I only hear this through her website about Matsui, that she has taken millions in corporate donations, companies, money from companies that profit from ICE, profit from the industries fueling war, and from APAC. So I didn't get a chance to do any real digging myself on that. But Matsui doesn't have any talk about funding on her website, who's endorsing her. But I just want to say that, MyVang has a really very full website talking about all of the issues that we've been mentioned for other candidates. She usually has something talking about them. And one of the things is things like housing, taking on corporate landlords. And this was the endorsement from our revolution. One of the things they say is, from taking on corporate landlords to standing up for clean air, living wages, and affordable housing. And that these are the things that she's really putting on her candidacy. And that she will be a voice for the working people. So it was very interesting looking into this and really kind of comparing generational. How did we do things 20 years ago in campaigns and how we're doing campaigns today? And that's why I say, is looking at Congresswoman Matsui's candidate website, there's hardly anything in it. No details really on anything. So it was really rather a surprise to me. Any questions?
Matsui is 81 and the other woman is 41.
41. Yeah. Yep.
Anna should talk to Matsui.
Say that again, Elsa?
Anna Eshu should talk to Matsui.
Well, yeah, but it also might be a moot argument if she loses primary and/or general election. So.
Oh, I meant before the election, but
yeah.
Oh
well, yeah, but
no, that was a
yeah.
silly comment.
Well, so. It's just kind of she's kind of and the other thing I didn't mention was Matsui, while her first husband died in office, she has now remarried and is married to a billionaire. So,
His name is not Tom Steyer.
No, no, but he's a Washington billionaire, Washington D.C. insider. So yeah, there's no worry about funding her campaign. Would be my yeah. So, any other questions or comments?
Just one thought I had, and it gets back to, do they need our help, I guess. And she sounds as though maybe she does, but I realize I don't have the money stats on any of my people. And but it would help to know, I guess, to go to the next step of who do we most help on that front. On the phone banking, we get it. But out of everybody, maybe one of our meetings near the end, Susie, can be, so looking at all the candidates we've talked about and given X months later and maybe polls later in the race, who do we think it really most could stand the help, who does have a chance of getting in, but it's narrower?
Well, one of the questions would be, when is one of the primaries? So California is June. I think Ashley's race was August. You've got your hand up, and I know you're not Eleanor.
What about Georgia?
Ben, this is Ben Stetson.
Well, based on the hundreds of texts I've received in the last few days, it's the end of the quarterly reports. When do those reports become public so we can then go find out how much each of these candidates has currently? Does anyone
It's
know?
within a couple, it's usually within a couple of weeks, something
Okay.
like it. Definitely before the end of the next month.
Yeah, and but are those state by state reporting?
I think they would be candidates.
But there's a
they're-
each they have a deadline by which, oh no, I'm sorry, you're right. There's a deadline to report, not a,
Yeah, so
Deadline was yesterday.
So
yeah,
do you have to
exactly.
do you have to go to state elections to find out the money, or where's it
I
most
would think
accurately reported?
so. If you're looking at like for a California candidate, they have to report to the state of California quarterly,
So
but they also
Secretary of State?
right. And I just did this on local races. Um, if you want to give me a second, well, you guys talk about some other things. I'll go find the website. I think it's the
Yeah.
FPPC, which is the
Hmm.
uh,
FEC of California.
yeah. And I
Federal
will grab the website. Diana,
I just wanted to say that I personally will be supporting Cori Bush, because she's going to need money to fight the APAC onslaught. But I think
yeah.
that she's right, though her constituents are pretty mad about Israel and Iran, and they probably will not be influenced by the APAC money as much as they were last time. But still, that I will be supporting Cori Bush.
No question here.
I heard someone ask when Georgia's is. It's May 19th coming up.
Yeah, Missouri is August 6th.
okay.
Yeah.
So really that May for
May.
Missouri, that one we need to be talking about fast. And maybe that's an email going out with yeah. Hang on, I'm looking up trying to get that website.
These are all good things to just as we go forward to make sure we have in our reports. Like I didn't have the primary of, if we have time, I have one more we can do, but I didn't look up when that primary is.
What state is it, Elsa?
Maine. Oh, I hope to beat you to it.
Oh,
those
okay.
are
All right.
upcoming elections.
Oh.
Oh, they can answer everything but that. You'll be faster than I am, I promise.
Okay.
So, Nancy, keep looking. Keep looking.
Okay.
Here, I'm now at Ballotopedia. That should happen.
I'm
March 16th? Oh, filing deadline. The primary is June 9th, so it's soon for Maine.
June 9th, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the California campaign finance, and I'm not seeing, I only see statewide offices. I'm not seeing congressional. So,
Oh, well, the U.S. House,
It's the
that would
same
be
thing.
at the FEC, right?
oh, is that maybe? Yeah.
Well, I would think so, yeah.
Yeah, not FPPC. Good point.
Okay, let's.
Nancy, did you see the primary date for New York?
The primary date for New York, let me see here. It looks like it's June 23rd.
Okay.
Maybe we could send out a link to a list of primary dates.
Well, I've got it on this master
next
spreadsheet. I've got a tab here with all the primaries on it.
Thank you. Of course you do.
I don't know how to make it, how to get it. Like, I can send out everybody can look at this spreadsheet. It's a Google Doc.
Nancy, can you put the link in the chat? And every meeting,
Well,
can you
don't
put the
I
link
have
in the
to?
chat?
Yeah, I can do that, but I
Okay.
need to add everybody to it for them to see it, right?
No. You just put it in the chat for everyone.
And then everybody can
Under
look. Here,
everyone.
let's put it to the test. Here we go.
Oh yeah, no question. That'll work.
The question is not so much when the primary is, but what are we going to do for these people?
Thank you. So that point I made earlier about we should have one session or part of a session that narrows down everything we've heard to, okay, who most needs our help that can make that biggest difference in November.
But are
given-
there other California races though that we want to consider that are? Because
Yes,
remember at the convention they said there were like 3 or 4 districts that because of the redistricting that they were diluted and they didn't have as strong a
Exactly.
Democratic thing, and then making sure we close in on the ones that we did redistrict. I personally would like to see Kevin Kiley out of California 6, and I met one of the dudes that's
and
running against,
Valadeo.
huh?
Valadeo out of 22 also.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, you know what? Especially in light of what Kevin Kiley just did by, turning off the Republican switch, I would just really want to make sure that. And I met one of his opponents. His name is Tyler Vandenberg. I met him at the convention, and he's a former Marine that studied like public policy or something in Washington D.C. at some university. He's a young dude. He seemed like I was really interested in him. I thought he was good, pretty strong candidates.
What was his name again?
His name was Tyler Vandenberg.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've heard of him. So that's a question. Well, I do have Maine Senate race if anyone wants to hear that, but do we want to, for future, spend at least part of a session sooner rather than later, before June 5th on the California races, particularly emphasizing, I think we're for all, well, particularly emphasizing who and most needing our help.
That would probably be a good org discussion, because that
Sure.
could be a really good focus for our May meeting, is
Yeah.
focusing on
But
California.
will there be those other initiatives on the ballot too, or is it just gonna be primary?
No,
election?
as far as I know, there aren't any initiatives because
Okay.
the only ones that can be on the primary are ones coming out of the legislature. So it's going to
okay.
be November when we have the enormous number of ballot initiatives, including voter ID and
So Susie, I'm working on endorsements for DCC, and we were given some measures to look at for that endorsement process. And I have one in East Palo Alto, and there's another one in Redwood City for bond election.
A local.
Okay, those are local, not state.
Oh, okay. But they will be on the primary ballot, though.
Okay, for some of us.
Yeah. But if you live in those districts too.
Yeah. Okay. Do you guys want to see real quick what the funding information looks like? Let me share real quick.
And while you're doing that, then I really need to go back and look at Our Revolution, Working Families Party, and Indivisible and see if they've added any other candidates to their endorsements.
Thanks.
So this is, so it's fec.gov. And then it allowed me to say, do I want to look at a particular district? And I said California 7. So if you notice, and I'm going to hide this. So this is coverage ending December 31st. So it's going to be probably, I'm going to say at least 2 weeks before you get the March 31st numbers.
Yeah, it's usually about that.
Yeah. But you can at least see here, of course, Matsui, of course, has a lot more money. But my Vang is not far back, considering.
And my Bang hasn't spent a penny and has leftovers from before. And Vang is out there spending.
Yeah. But this was a very nice, you could find it by your state and district. So if you want to look at, let's look at Missouri.
Oh, great. So it's national. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, of course. It's FEC, Elsa.
And was that Missouri? Uh, one, I think.
wait. MO1, yes.
And then here you go. So you
Whoa.
can see Wesley Bell has four times.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, Corey is not nothing.
Well, no,
Right.
not nothing. And again, this doesn't include any of the last quarter.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's where the money would have come in, is in the last 90 days.
yeah. Huh.
But
Well,
but again, we probably won't, this probably won't help and for another 2 weeks.
yeah, yeah. But it'll help before our next meeting. We can report on
That's
that.
true.
Right.
In
Yeah.
fact, we can report on everybody we have looked at so far for both prior meetings by then too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's a Nancy project with her next column. I see it right now. Look how excited she is. You have the right person in that role.
Well,
thanks, Nancy.
Nancy, just to let you know, what you put in the chat, it just says create and edit your own Google Doc.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't think it would work.
Information.
Yeah.
It's probably not shared enough.
Yeah, that's what but see, that was a hardship. Oh, well, I'll have to study. Maybe I can just make it public read only for everybody. And that'll
Yes.
work. Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
that's, yeah.
Yeah. Well, here, I'll try it right now.
Well, I want to tell you, I got the email from Anthony Dang a week ago.
He's just left, by the
Yeah,
way.
I'm saying it now, knowing that he has left. I got an email from him about a week ago and kind of introducing himself, and I said, yeah, come on in and introduce yourself. And I'm just kind of going, I wanted to get a little impression too, but I thought that was really great because we've had our issues with Kevin not standing up strong enough. And I'm actually really happy to see that he's got some candidates running against him.
And the trick is June 5th as the primary, and none of us had heard of Andrew Dang before.
Well, I don't think he signed up to run until about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
That's what it sounded like. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so we've got 2 months if we want to help him.
Yeah.
We as individuals.
Well, and the top 2 get on the ballot. So is there anybody else running in that?
Oh, great.
Yeah, there is. And I've met him at the farmer's market, one of the guys. See if I can find. No, I don't know.
Well, while you're looking, all those things we talked about introducing him to other people and other places to present could be, I mean, that's a good job for us for right now.
I think so. Yeah. I think so.
Oops, not 15, 16. Let me. Okay, so there's Mantush Kumar. I have met him at the farmer's market. He's he has as of December he only had 7,000. Here, actually, I'll show you. Let me come back and put this up. Okay.
Yeah, this quarter is the key quarter.
Right. So this is the guy I've met him at the farmer's market. I saw him at the No Kings on Saturday. I'm not keen on him. I just more because I see him as self-funding millionaire. And and that just already kind of turned me off.
Right.
And then I don't know Anna Kramer or Brian Tetrud. I've not heard anything.
So the fact that Anna Kramer, well, first of all, she's a
Republican
party.
Sorry.
But I will just say one thing about analyzing numbers. The fact that she reported it at 5,000 for an entire quarter means she's nobody.
Well, but we
It's
don't
better
know.
not to have
Well,
accepted that.
She spent more than she had in
Took it.
receipts.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I'm just saying that's not a serious candidacy. That's all.
Well, but yeah, but she's the only Republican running.
Yeah,
And
but
she's
it's tough
probably
too. So
well, you know how there's always a token.
Right.
And, and that's the thing I was, kind of going back to with this whole discussion is, you know, the normal is you don't run against an incumbent. And, that has changed in the last 10 years. And today there's more and more people challenging an incumbent.
I can't
Gail,
believe I'm sorry.
oh, Gail, I was going to say your hand's up.
Yeah, either now or later at another meeting, we need to consider a possible position or action about the governorship because that's in real danger with too many people running,
Yeah.
as you may know.
So I think that would actually be if we focused our next meeting on California.
Oh, okay.
And maybe half of it on the governor's race and the other half on key congressional.
I'm really hoping that some of those people drop out before June.
It's crazy not to, but they're
Well, they're still
fighting
going
it.
to. The thing is, they're
fighting.
still going to have their name on the ballot. That's already set.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Oh.
they can write all their constituents in their database and say, I'm throwing my votes to Blum.
Oh,
Please
true.
vote
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Blum. So that doesn't worry me quite as much.
Okay.
Well,
But you're right, that's a killer. I mean, we would be as idiotic as having elected the guy in the White House if we let one of the two Republicans get in. That would just be
and at this point, it's going to end up being the two Republicans winning the primary.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, we're all going to. Yeah.
That's exactly what I meant.
Yep. No, and
well, and then that thought caused me to actually wonder. I haven't looked at the specifics yet, but I know that there is a process for qualifying for a write-in after the primary. There's an actual process for it.
True, there is.
And so maybe if I can find out how to research that.
Well, let's work on having certain people get to the top of the top two first.
Yeah,
and then we work on the process.
Right.
But
you're right, Nancy. Great point.
It's that you're seeing every time you watch if you're on commercial TV, all you see is Tom Steyer.
Oh my God! So listen. I was shocked. Rob Bonta's wife, who's an assembly member, right?
And progressive.
She's throwing endorsement to Tom Steyer.
Well, thank you. She is a progressive, and the progressive vote is going to Steyer. And Steyer has been. Sorry. Rob Bonta, who's running or was running, is his wife. His wife. Yeah. His wife is a progressive Democrat and has been in the legislature a long time.
Well, what about Eric Swalwell?
He's in the House and he's not.
No, but he's had a lot of TV time lately.
Oh, has he?
Well,
I've seen it a lot.
Well, he's on MS Now all the time.
Yeah.
But
I'm saying he's had ads on for his candidacy.
He's spending money.
I haven't seen any.
Spending money.
But would Swalwell be any good?
Yeah, no, he's way too centrist.
Well,
Greg, if Marshall were here and if Nancy
Goodman?
No, Jim Crampton. If Nancy Crampton were here in 2015, the three of us went to an Obama fundraiser in San Francisco where the dinner was at the Getty House, long driveway going in, but which was on a sidewalk, so you could all stand there. And before that was a fundraiser cocktail party as well. Tom Steyer was in that cocktail party, and there were hundreds and maybe 1,000 of us with our signs lining that driveway, staying there waiting for a mole who turned out to be Steyer, who was going to call us from the cocktail party to say which of two routes Obama was taking to get to Steyer, to the Getty House, so that we could know after the Getty driveway which route to hold our signs on. And that was Tom Steyer sending us that note, huge environmentalist. So then I was a delegate at the 2016 Democratic presidential uh, convention in Philadelphia. And Steyer funded the most fabulous cafe that was right behind our entire delegation. It was open the whole time that we were in the convention center. He was there every minute, and anybody could talk with him. And he always had a group or at least a couple people around him, and he was listening that whole time. And he would have conversations with you, but he did a hell of a lot of listening.
Right.
And I walked away so impressed, and I've been impressed ever since with what he's done environmentally. So and last thing, and I'm sorry, Joanne, last quick thing. So the group of us were four who put on 10 debate watch parties in Menlo Park at the original Roundtable Pizza. Also put on a debate watch party for the one big debate for the governorship that was on early February. And we didn't have the 120 people we'd had before that we'd built up to, but we had a number of people, and we all walked in. We always do ranked choice voting, and you walk in and you say who you're for to begin with. And and we were all over the map, except for the Republicans. Walking out, 81% of us had changed to Steyer. And I suggest you read about him and you read his stuff, and if possible, listen to him, because his brain and his experience base puts together silos in very creative ways, I think, that help solve problems like, or address problems like housing as well. It's not just the environment. He is the one and only candidate of all 11, maybe now 10, who come out and proactively say they support CalCare. Now that's a big deal for me. And I went in saying Betty Lee because of lots of progressive things, but she came across as a sort of an accountant, surprise in a way, but where it was she knew a hell of a lot of stuff. Would she know how to push it through is the only question. And did she rise above with coming up with, I think, economically better ideas because of his phenomenal background of how to put different elements together for a new and better way forward to solve elements of housing, etc. So if you can listen to him ever, I really recommend it.
I've been
And
telling everybody that I would not be disappointed if Steyer got elected because at least we don't have to worry about his being influenced by outside money as our current governor is.
Okay, hang on. Joanne's
well
had her hand
said.
up first, and then we'll.
At No Kings, one of my friends that I was super progressive, we started talking about government, and we had like a little group around us. And she said she actually knows a lot of these people, and she said she's Tom Steyer's, because I said, well, what about Swalwell? And she goes, no. I
Yeah.
felt he has some things in his background that are not good. So she had the whole group with what she was saying about him going like, oh, okay. I was thinking of him more as a billionaire and against him, but now that you're saying this, so she had a whole group of people switch to Steyer. So
It's interesting.
yeah, because it was a whole bunch of progressive people, and they're going like, nobody. And the thing about it is, none of us had decided yet.
Ah,
So
he's a better thinker than the others, from what I've heard.
I literally were like, we didn't know who we're going to vote for. A lot of people I know don't know who they're going to vote for.
Right. And I'm undecided, but to get back to Greg's original question, I've always had the feeling that Swalwell will be bombastic and really stand up the best to Trump. He really knows how to fight back and push back on that. He's pretty loud about it. Don't you think so, Elsa? You don't think he's...
He is way too self-interested. You know, this whole controversy about where does he really live? So I really dug into that because a friend
Is
said,
that
"Oh my
real?
God, billionaire."
Is it a
It
real
is
thing?
real. He owns the house he and his wife and three children live in Washington, D.C., where the children go to school. He has held three town halls in the last 3 years, none in 24. The last was May 25. This is in-person town halls. Has he been in California? Oh, he rents a room in someone else's home in Pleasanton or
But he
wherever.
was holding town halls. He was holding campaign events all
Yeah,
over in other
exactly.
districts,
Yeah, yeah. So he
right?
comes to California to
Yeah.
campaign for governor down south, San Diego and LA territory. The only time he's been up here in the last year, other than that town hall, was for a Chamber of Commerce meeting where he spoke which was in his district. That's the only time he's been seen in his district. Just saying. I looked a lot, but he has a lot of unprogressive stances. And I
which
just
they
sent you guys
swallow.
today.
Sorry.
This is Eric Swalwell, who's leading in the polls, but not by a hell of a lot.
All right. Eleanor?
Eleanor Ben.
Does, does anyone know it has another governor's debate been scheduled? Because I know the last one blew up,
Yeah.
I haven't heard of any.
which is a shame because we're running out of time to whittle
Right.
the field.
Why don't we host one? Why don't we get the DCC to host one? Wouldn't that be cool? And invite them?
Uh, how much would it cost?
We could do it online. Does
They're
it have to
all,
be
I
in
don't think we're
person?
going to get the crowds online.
All right.
yeah,
Oh,
it'd
well,
have to be broadcast. We
Gail?
should talk to NPR
Wait,
about
wait,
doing
wait.
that.
I
Okay.
I
Gail?
think the Democratic Party,
Thank you.
state Democratic Party, should be holding a debate for
Yep.
governor, for Christ's sakes.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Gail?
Well, I second the suggestion for a debate. I think yes. By an odd coincidence, Tom Steyer goes to my church, and I chatted with him and his wife briefly. I was just impressed
Wait, he
with
goes to your church?
unless I'm losing it, I'm pretty sure that they came to church and he said I'm running for governor, and I didn't know who he was, and I thought, oh yeah, sure, yeah, yeah,
Good looking guy.
yeah,
how
and
long?
yeah,
I
How
bet.
long ago was that? How long ago was that?
about a month ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I just chatted just extremely briefly, but I was very impressed with their whole approach. Yeah.
You're getting to a quorum of a majority here, Gail. And definitely check him out, guys, no matter what. Ben, how do we work on well, it's Rusty Hicks. All Rusty did to try and get rid of some of the lower polling people was to write them a letter to say, you might want to think about. And I just think, wait, you've got a title, you've got supposedly power. You can have the platform support CalCare and not say a word about it yourself because you're taking money from the wrong people. I mean, what a jerk to be in charge of the California Democratic Party. But I think we should have our